federal government, according to the Constitution, has 18 tasks that it is supposed to perform, and that's it. The rest is supposed to be put in the state's hands where it's closer to the people so that it can be overseen better and be more transparent at that ways. Whereas everything else was left to the states to decide whatever they wanted to do, whatever it was abortion, marriage issues, even now the government controls marriage. You look at personal lifestyles, taxing, those kinds of things. And even the state was supposed to be able to be responsible for even supporting the federal government. We were never supposed to have direct taxation by the federal government. So that's a big issue for a lot of people today. Oh, and healthcare was supposed to be left to the states too, if it ever became an issue. Actually, my political intentions began back when I was in high school, when I petitioned the City Council of Scottsdale for bike paths along a very busy thoroughfare, and several years later, as they widened those roads, they did get incorporated. So I have a history of success with that. But my actual involvement coming into the Liberty movement began during the 2008 presidential election cycle, when I began to observe that there were grave inconsistencies with what was happening inside the Republican Party, violating their own rules in terms of supporting various candidates in that race. But during the debate season, I began to listen to what each of the candidates was saying, and even though my leftover fear from 9/11 still drew me to some of the more mainstream candidates, my ear and my heart couldn't get away from what Congressman Paul was saying. And he continued with the constitutional message and what we were supposed to be doing, not what we were doing. And I began to have to deal with the cognitive dissonance that I think a lot of Americans were feeling at that time about what's going on, what's really going on. So I took some real opportunity through 2008 and 2009 to begin to read back, because this was stuff I'd never learned in school. And I was in school in the late 60s, mid-60s, through the late 70s, back when our history was allegedly still being taught in an authentic and accurate manner. But now going back and reading, going, I never learned this stuff in school. So it's been a real catch-up effort. And so because of the work that I do, talking to conservatives day in and day out, it compelled me, after hearing their voices and their cry of, we have to start making real changes in this country, and I was encouraged by several of them to run, that I decided to go ahead and throw my hat in. It was time. This is the time for movements like state sovereignty. Getting back to our traditional values and principles is what is going to bring us out of the current mess we've gotten ourselves into.
Just while I'm thinking of it, how can people who see this, that like what you're saying or want to learn more, how can they learn more about you, maybe a website, and or get involved with helping you get elected?
Sure. You can find us at www.melissaleach.org. The campaign phone number is also area code 417-597-4137. And we would love to have people, sending comments. You can sign up at this point and let us know if you support liberty, if you support, our traditional American values. And my platform is state sovereignty, a well-educated citizenry, because with education, then we can know what's truth versus what we might just be fed for, market research numbers. And also, too, we need to really get back to the economy, but it's my opinion that if we don't change or rebuild our foundation, restore that foundation, we're just going to continue to get what we've always gotten, and we're not going. And that way, we can make a change by moving back and get back on track and have real jobs,